Let's talk about the last count, because I'm counting, by the way, because at least 3 African countries have indicated plans to float digital currencies. These were the Central Bank of Ghana, Nigeria, and Tanzania under President SUHULU, who says the finance sector should be ready to adopt the crypto. The central question, however, is what will this transition to a dual currencies mean for the economy and the markets of these frontier countries? Let's get an industry professional view on this as we turn to Charles Okaformbah, who is the co-CEO and Chief Technical Officer at Convexity. Charles joining me this evening from Abuja studios there. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you.
Yeah, good evening, Bosu.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Good to have you this Friday evening. Why are we seeing an increasing number of sovereigns or countries in Africa like Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania speaking to the adoption of digital currencies?
Oh, well, okay. Now, majorly it's regard to the threat of DeFi, that is a decentralized finance. And we can say decentralized finance is more of banking services being moved to a decentralized technology. So when Bitcoin and other cryptos came out, they were actually seen as a threat, right, to governments around the world, because the system or the technology is moving away money from the control of government to the people itself. So this is actually a concern for most governments, and that is why we are seeing CBDC coming up here and there to counter such moves by decentralized finance. And also, not only that, the promise of CBDC cannot be ignored, right? Because CBDC also helps government in reducing costs of, instead of printing fiat, they can actually digitize the country's currency, and also they can easily monitor transactions and then distribute such currency. So it has a whole lot to why countries.
Yes, so Charles, so in a manner of speaking, do you see, or are you seeing this digital currency adoption? For example, if Ghana adopts, this is going to be called ECD. When we do it here in Nigeria, maybe it's going to be called e-Naira, whatever it is called. So, do you think this is the easy way for everybody to embrace cryptocurrency and say, here comes the future of money?
Oh, well, according to IMF reports recently, 80% of central banks around the world are not yet ready for CBDC, right? Reason being that some are not technically ready, while some don't really have the legislation to print or to mint such currency. Take, for example, now, the CBN Act, Section 17, mandated that the CBN can only print paper money and coin. So in order for countries like Nigeria to print a digital currency, the National Assembly needs to do some amendment, and that will actually take a while. And then also to create CBDC, I think countries that have done this, like China, for example, they started around 2014. They've been working to gather data in order for them to be able to create such a CBDC that will be in line with their economy. And also, just 3 days ago, the U.S. House Representative of Financial Services, they held a public hearing in order for them to be able to gather enough data regarding CBDC. So CBDC, creating a digital currency by the central government or by the central bank, involves a lot. It's not something that can be done just with a snap of a finger. Lots of things need to be put in place. Technology also needs to be considered in line with the digital policy of such countries.
So in a manner of speaking, it's going to take some time. But what will the adoption of these digital currencies, e-Naira, ECD, whatever it is called, what would it mean for the fiat money itself, the Naira in paper?
Yeah. Well, it might not really have much effect on the country's currency, like maybe fiat or the Naira. What we'll just see will definitely be a reduction in the printing of fiat currency. That is one. And then we'll also see the digital currency taking more minting if such a country has millennials that are already in line with cryptocurrency. So we'll definitely see fiat being printed, and that will be for those that cannot key into how the crypto works or how the digital space works, for those that are actually financially excluded. I think that is one of the major things that I will be saying. And then most likely to be reducing costs for government itself. So we might not really see much effect, right? But in terms of the printing and the minting of a fiat currency, that will definitely reduce.
Okay, Charles, just a question I'd always wanted to ask those of you who are experts in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and if this digital currency is adopted, will it suddenly make all of us millionaires, by the way? Would I just have money because I have Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? Will all of us just have money because everybody wants it? So if it is digital, I could just mine the money and I'm just a millionaire.
Well, that is wrong, right? You can't just make money with crypto, right? There are still some factors that need to be considered, especially the tokenomics, or we call it tokenization of such crypto. And then what the government is actually creating, it's a one-for-one. We call it stable coin, right? Okay. Stable coin is mirroring the asset that is behind it. Yes. Let's say, for example, 1 naira to 1 coin. So it will not make you that. It will not make you money, except trading it, right? Trading it against other digital currencies. Then the arbitrage that is involved.
Okay, I got it. Maybe because those who have money
that are volatile, you can make your money.
Yeah, maybe those who have money don't want the rest of us who don't have money. Maybe that's why they don't want to adopt it. Maybe I now get the question. Because all of us will just suddenly become 8 billion of us on planet Earth. We suddenly become billionaires. I don't mind if that's the way the world goes. At least
it involves the demand and the supply, right? So if the demand of a crypto or a coin is actually okay, yes, definitely, and then the supply is high, then you might be seeing yourself making money, but not from what we call in the space. I don't want to mention the word, right? But it's a kind of coin that.
I don't mind. I don't want you guys, Generation Z. I don't want you guys, Generation Z, to make all the money. And me, who's Generation X, I don't want to lose out. By the way, before it's too late for me. So,
yeah, the space, right? Now, like I made mention in the first question, that we already have DeFi, that's decentralized finance, right? And it is decentralized. It is removing what the bank is doing, right? It is taking what the banks are doing now into the crypto space. So say, for example, now lending itself. So you have a community coming together, say, okay, we want to put our money together, and whoever wants to lend this money, whoever wants to collect this money can come and collect, but they need to drop a digital asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum and all that, they need to drop it. Now, say, for example, the bank is giving somebody that is saving 1% or 2% as interest. Now, in the digital space or in the decentralized space itself, if you are lending such kind of a money, you're actually getting much more. So why would I want to keep my money with a bank when I know I can take it to a DeFi or to a lending platform and I will be getting like 16% per annum, right, from what I'm lending to the space, and my money is secured because there's an asset, there's a digital asset like Bitcoin backing it, and that's what we call decentralized lending. Charles. There's also saving, there's also yield farming, there are lots of things actually that's making my generation to leave legacy systems into decentralized systems.
Charles, because this is a Friday conversation and I have the whole weekend to think about it. Don't plant any idea in my head about money. But let's leave it there for tonight. Thanks so much, Charles Okaformbah. Thank you so much. Okaformbah, CEO, co-CEO and Chief Technical Officer at Convexity. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. There's a whole lot to think about over the weekend. See you next time.